So I got a message from one of my subscribers, Patrick Paul, and he asked if I could check into the YouTube channel Unnecessary Inventions for possible conspiracies. Now, Patrick Paul's the same subscriber who sent me this C3PO plug-in light, and I'm pretty sure he put cameras in the eyes and he's been watching me sleep. But I decided that I would look into the channel because I've actually been watching this channel for a long time anyways. And I actually do think there could be a conspiracy theory going on here. Now, the channel's run by this guy, Matt Benedetto. I think that's how you say it. And basically, he creates unnecessary inventions. For example, the cereal bowl wristwatch he's got on here. That's the whole point of the channel. He invents things that don't need to be invented, and they're funny. Or at least I thought they were, until I came across something very dark. And it all started with this here. So a little while ago, he won a Webby Award, which is like an internet YouTube channel award, and the trophy looks like this kind of spiral design. So he decided to create a harness that would show off his Webby Award, and he wouldn't have to hold it, it just kind of hangs off of his body. Well, as I'm combing the internet, I come across this image here of what appears to be a US troop wearing the same harness. And I thought, okay, that's weird. What's going on here? And why does it look like the spring is deflecting a grenade? How weird is that? Well, then I come across another one of his inventions, and it's this high-powered cannon that shoots out Christmas decorations. So basically, you point it at your Christmas tree, and you shoot it, and in one big shot, your Christmas tree is decorated. But then why did I come across this image here of, once again, a US troop wielding this cannon? And that's when I realized, I think this whole Unnecessary Invention YouTube channel is just a cover. I think that Matt works for the US government secretly, inventing things for the military, and is just disguising them as funny inventions so nobody finds out about it. Well, then after figuring that out, I found one more example. Check out this baguette backpack he invented. This actually doesn't seem that unnecessary to me. I think I'd probably actually use this, but look what I come across here. A US troop using the backpack, but what is he carrying? That's not a baguette, that's a bazooka. Now you're probably wondering, James, why would he need to do this? Why not just work for the government creating stuff? Why even have the YouTube channel? Why bother with all that? Well, imagine Matt sitting in his bedroom, inventing some weapon for the government, and then suddenly his mom blows the door open and she's holding her rolling pin that she uses to beat people who give her sass back. And she says, Matt, what the f*** are you making? What is he supposed to say? Oh, I'm making weapons for the US military? Of course not. Now he can just say, oh, I just have this funny YouTube channel where I create unnecessary inventions, and then hopefully her temper settles and she leaves. In fact, he probably signed a non-disclosure agreement and legally can't even tell people about this stuff. So he has to have the YouTube channel to cover his tracks. Now, I know what a couple of you are also probably thinking, James, those military pictures are all photoshopped. You use Photoshop to make those pictures. This is fake. Well, I can actually prove that I did not Photoshop those pictures, because after looking up what Photoshop actually is, I discovered that you can't just buy Photoshop. It's not a program you can just go purchase at a store. It's like a monthly subscription. And in case you didn't know this, I'm from Canada, and in Canada, we don't have a credit system. We just trade stuff to each other. So there is no way that I could pay the monthly fee to have Photoshop to make those images. So unless Adobe's willing to trade a Photoshop subscription for some of my mom's maple preserves, those images literally cannot be Photoshopped. But just in case you're still not convinced that the Unnecessary Inventions YouTube channel is inventing weapons for the US military, I did a little bit of math just to prove my point even further. So on the channel, Matt has these 3 t-shirts available through Teespring, and the shirts cost $30.72, $31.07, and $31.07 Canadian pricing. Now, if you take those 3 numbers and add them together, it gives you $92.86. And that's when I realized that World War II started in 1939. So if you take that number, 9286, and subtract 1939, it gives you 7,347. So I thought, okay, what does that number mean? Well, then I come across this book called Nuclear Science Abstracts, Volume 10. So maybe Matt's inventing nukes now, I don't know. But in the book, there's this part with the same number, 7347, and the very next word is Matt, which again is the name of the YouTuber. So then I thought, what does this name mean, Matt? What is this trying to tell me? Well, then I realized that the numerical equivalent of each of these letters is 13, 1, 20, and 20. So I look up that number, and it brings me to this part online, a TBO pulley. And I thought, okay, pulley, what does that mean? Then I remembered that Matt recently invented this pulley system that stops you from eating snacks, because the more snacks you take off of it, the higher the snacks raise up using a pulley system. Now, Matt posted this image on Instagram on April 23rd, remember that date, because then I come across this article saying that 418 US military drones have crashed since 2001. So if you take that 418 and add the 23 from April 23rd, it gives you 441. And what is 441? It's the address 441 G Street, which is the address for the US Army Corps of Engineers in Washington, D.C., which is the place where they invent all of their military equipment. So I think that this pretty much proves what Matt is actually up to. And I just hope that me exposing this doesn't get him fired from his job, or possibly worse. But on a side note, I still have my Patreon supporters living in my basement, and I decided that I would try to invent something just like Matt would. So I invented a machine that turns Patreon supporters into candy. And unfortunately, it didn't really work. I think I need to add more razor blades. I'm not sure, but if you want to join the Patreon supporters in the basement, there's a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.